55. The Last Rain Dance. Author's POV. After returning to the office, Jackie stormed into his office suite, ignoring James's persistent calls. Meanwhile, Lavanya hurried back to the shooting set, relieved to see that work had resumed after the lunch break. "Oh God, I hope I'm not too late," she prayed silently. As she was getting her makeup done, Virat suddenly approached. "Where were you, Lavanya?" Her eyes were closed as the makeup artist worked, but the firm tone in Virat's voice made the artist pause. Lavanya's eyes fluttered open, sensing the tension. A moment of awkward silence passed. The makeup artist, sensing the discomfort, excused himself. I'll be back in a bit." As soon as he left, Virat leaned in, placing both hands on the armrests of her chair, caging her in. "I asked you something." "Sir," she stammered. "You went out with him again?" he asked, his tone filled with disdain. "What were you thinking, Lavanya?" She lowered her gaze, avoiding his piercing glare. "He's my boss, sir." "Yes, he is, but that doesn't mean he can keep running after my would-be fiancé." His voice rose as he slammed his right hand against the armrest. Lavanya flinched, blinking in shock. A shiver of unease ran through her. Virat exhaled sharply, attempting to rein in his temper. When he spoke again, his tone was softer, but no less intense. "Look, Lavanya, he's not a good man. He just wants to take advantage of you. And why are you sharing your lunchboxes with him?" She swallowed hard before replying. "Sir, I'm just being a good host. He's new to India, away from his people. What's wrong with being a little friendly to someone who feels lonely?" Virat scoffed. "Friendly? Are you blind? Can't you see what his real intentions are?" "I don't see anything like that." She kept her gaze down, but her voice held a quiet defiance. "Then open your eyes, Lavanya." He straightened up, his breathing heavy. "Open your damn eyes." "Sir, please don't turn a tissue into an issue," she pleaded. Virat let out a bitter laugh, shaking his head. "An issue? We're about to get engaged, Lavanya. Or have you conveniently forgotten? While you're busy entertaining him, you seem to have no regard for the responsibilities you have toward me." A flicker of something unreadable passed across Lavanya's face before she responded, her voice calm but firm. "Yes, we are going to get engaged, but we're not engaged yet." The weight of those words hit Virat like a punch to the gut. He stared at her, speechless, before slowly stepping back. His jaw clenched as he gave a tight nod, then turned and walked away without another word. Lavanya felt a pang of guilt, but she didn't regret what she had said. It was the truth. Virat had no right to control her decisions. Only one person had witnessed the entire exchange: Ruhi. She walked up to Lavanya and gently took her hand. "It's okay," Ruhi soothed. "Relax, you did the right thing. It was necessary." Lavanya looked up at her friend, gripping her hand tightly. Ruhi squeezed back in silent reassurance. She didn't mention the earlier confrontation between Virat and Jackie. Lavanya had enough on her mind already.
Jackie's POV. "I knew this would happen," James scolded, his expression filled with exasperation. I rolled my eyes, avoiding his accusing gaze. "I didn't even get a chance to speak, okay?" I defended myself. Her phone kept buzzing. "Come on, man," he groaned. "You sound like a teenage boy." "James, I am gonna tell her." "Yeah, sure. At this rate, you'll confess when she's holding that manager guy's baby in her arms." "What the—" "Shut the fuck up, James." I gritted my teeth at the mention of him. "Let me think." James sighed dramatically. "Fine. Should I go for a sex change operation then?" I blinked, caught completely off guard. "What? Do you want to spend the rest of your life with me?" He deadpanned. "What?" I was about to curse when he cut me off. "Then stop wasting time here and go tell her." "Get out of my sight." I opened my mouth to argue, but damn it, the bastard was right. Leaning back in my chair, I exhaled deeply. James gave me a knowing look, and I threw my hands up in surrender. Fine, I'm going. Stop giving me that look." Without waiting for another sarcastic remark, I ended the video call and got up. I headed straight to the set, but as I arrived, I noticed the crew packing up. "Why are you guys wrapping up so soon?" I asked one of the crew members. "Sir, the shoot's finished. We got everything done earlier than expected." "Oh." I nodded slowly, scanning the area for Lavanya. "Do you know where she is?" "Who, sir?" I turned to him, feeling slightly impatient. "Lavanya, Miss Lavanya Verma, the model you were shooting with." "Oh, she just went to the changing room." He pointed toward the door. "Thanks." I barely acknowledged his response before heading in that direction. As I approached, I took a deep breath, lifting my hand to knock. But before my fingers could touch the door, it swung open. Lavanya stepped out, adjusting her stole over her shoulder, and the moment her eyes met mine, she froze. Only her eyelids moved, blinking rapidly in surprise. "Sir," she whispered. "Love, I mean, what the hell are you doing?" My inner voice, sounding a lot like James, mocked me. Shaking my head, I forced myself to focus. "It's already evening, and I figured you'd be exhausted after a full day of shooting, so..." I trailed off, fumbling for words. "I came to take you home." Though, if I was being honest, I had no idea what the hell I actually meant.
Author's POV, Lavanya relaxed slightly and asked, "So, no work today?" Jackie simply shook his head. "No work today. I'll drive you home." She smiled faintly. "Thank you, sir. I'll just get my bag." As she stepped forward, expecting him to move aside and make way for her, he didn't. She halted, now standing just inches away from him, looking up in quiet amusement while he gazed down at her intently. For a long moment, their eyes remained locked, an unspoken conversation passing between them. Then, a sudden thud echoed through the hall as someone accidentally dropped a light stand. The loud noise startled both of them, making them jump simultaneously. Their gaze finally broke as they turned to see the crew carefully picking up the fallen stand. The set was being dismantled, with people carrying out large props, yet it felt as though time had frozen between them. Jackie finally stepped aside, allowing her to pass. She walked past him without another word and went to retrieve her handbag. Meanwhile, Ruhi and Virat were engaged in a conversation with the director and cameraman, but their eyes remained fixed on Lavanya. Lavanya didn't glance back. "Don't look back, Lavanya. Don't." She knew she had to keep moving forward, to block out the noise around her so she could finally understand where her life was truly headed. Virat was simmering with jealousy, while Ruhi silently wished Lavanya luck. Lavanya, on the other hand, was chanting a silent prayer, trying to steady her nerves. She and Jackie both had something to confess, that much was clear, but neither was entirely sure whether what they were feeling was real or just an illusion. As she walked beside Jackie, Virat's glare followed them, but they were too lost in their own world to notice. Ruhi, however, saw everything. Today, one heart will break. Either Virat's, if Jackie and Lavanya confess their feelings to each other, or Lavanya's, if she gets a response she never expected. Ruhi gently placed a hand on Virat's shoulder, trying to calm him, but he merely shot her a brief glance before storming out of the hall, seething. She sighed, sending a silent prayer. "Oh God, please untangle this mess." Jackie led Lavanya towards the elevator and a thick silence enveloped them. Inside, the only sounds were their breathing and the rapid beating of their hearts. Neither dared to look at the other. Once they stepped outside the office building, a loud clap of thunder suddenly rumbled across the sky. Lavanya gasped slightly, startled. Both of them instinctively looked up. A storm? In autumn? Something is changing. That was what both of them thought at that moment. The wind began to stir, gently at first, carrying the scent of rain. The distant flashes of lightning felt oddly musical, as if the universe itself was setting the stage for something unforgettable. Jackie, ever the gentleman, opened the car door for her. "After you." Lavanya slid into the passenger seat, and just as she settled in, the wind picked up, blowing even stronger. Jackie quickly got into the driver's seat, shutting the door as the storm began to gather around them. A few minutes into the drive, the rain began to fall gently, drop by drop against the car windows. Tiny rivulets of water streamed down the glass, blurring the view ahead. Jackie switched on the wipers, clearing the windshield. "How is it raining in autumn?" he mused, glancing up at the sky through the front window, leaning forward slightly. Lavanya followed his gaze. "India's weather is quite unpredictable, actually. I think this might be the last rain before winter sets in." "Like you, unpredictable," Jackie thought, smiling to himself. Trying to start a conversation, he asked, "So, now that the shoot is done, how do you feel?" Lavanya exhaled deeply, relieved. Jackie chuckled. "You were good. Actually, very good." He glanced at her from the corner of his eye. She returned a shy smile. "Thank you. You're part of the reason for my success." Slowly shifting her gaze to the window, she added, "You helped me regain my confidence. Otherwise, I would have never done it so easily." Jackie smiled, pleased. "I'm glad you took every word of mine seriously." After a brief pause, he smirked. "By the way, you looked beautiful in that dress, especially with the baby in your arms." Lavanya's cheeks flushed instantly. Thank you, but the baby was the one who looked really cute, sir." "Jackie," he corrected, frowning playfully. "Sorry, Mr. Dawson?" she stammered. He let out a deep sigh and shook his head, staring out the window. To break the silence, he switched on the FM radio. Romantic Bollywood songs filled the car, and Lavanya, lost in the music, began humming softly. Jackie, though unable to understand the lyrics, found himself captivated by her voice. He asked her for translations, and she patiently explained the meaning of each song. The moment was perfect. Rainfall, a cool breeze, soulful music, and the quiet presence of someone special. Before long, they reached her apartment complex. Jackie pulled up near her building, but neither of them made a move to leave. The music still played softly in the background. Just then, both of them spoke at the exact same time. "Lavanya." Jackie's husky voice broke the silence. "Sir." Lavanya's nervous tone overlapped his. They blinked at each other in surprise before breaking into soft chuckles. Lavanya glanced down, fiddling with her seatbelt. "Thank you, sir, for dropping me home. I should just go now." She wanted to stay. She wanted to hear him say something, anything, that would stop her from leaving, but she didn't dare to show such eagerness. Unfastening her seatbelt, she opened the car door and stepped out into the cool evening air. Jackie remained silent, watching her, struggling with his own hesitation. He had always been confident in pursuing women, but this time, it was different. This time, he wasn't sure why stopping her felt so difficult. Just as Lavanya reached to close the door, a loud clap of thunder rumbled through the sky. She gasped, squealing slightly in fear. That was all it took. Jackie was out of the car in an instant, instinctively rushing toward her. Halfway there, he stopped. His hands rested against the front of the car as he gazed at her. The world around them quieted. The only sounds were their breathing and the soft patter of rain. Within moments, the sky opened up, releasing a downpour like cascading fountains. The rain grew heavier, drenching everything in sight. Lavanya gasped and instinctively ran towards the shade of her apartment building's parking lot. Jackie, however, remained exactly where he was, standing in the middle of the rain, tilting his head back, letting the cold droplets kiss his skin. His eyes were closed, his face relaxed, completely lost in the moment. Lavanya stood frozen under the shelter, watching in awe. My American boss, always so composed, always so in control, is now standing in the rain, embracing it like a child. Slowly, Jackie lowered his head, opened his eyes, and met her gaze. His expression was different. Soft, intense, overflowing with emotions he hadn't yet put into words. Their eyes locked for what felt like an eternity. And then, he started walking toward her. Lavanya's heartbeat quickened with every step he took. When he finally stood before her, she swallowed nervously, unsure of what he would do next. Extending his right hand, he asked in a deep, husky voice, "Will you give me the honor of dancing with you, love?" A shiver ran down her spine. She inhaled sharply, her eyes drifting to his outstretched hand. "It's raining and there's no music," she stammered. Jackie smirked knowingly. Taking a few steps back, he leaned into his car, switched on the radio, and turned up the volume. He didn't care about his car getting soaked. He didn't care if anyone heard the loud music. All he cared about was making this night special. Tossing his jacket inside, he stood up as the RJ played a slow, romantic Bollywood song, one that perfectly matched the rain, the moment, and the emotions in the air. "Here's your Bollywood music, Miss Lavanya," he called out, his voice rich with amusement. "As for the rain, I don't mind, and I promise I won't hurt you this time while dancing. So, may I have the pleasure now?" Lavanya hesitated. Her heart was pounding. Without a word, she carefully placed her handbag on the seat of her bike and stepped forward into the rain. Jackie's lips curled into a victorious smile. As she walked towards him, he too took slow, deliberate steps toward her. By the time they met in the middle of the empty parking lot, both of them were completely drenched. Water clung to their skin, soaking through their clothes. Lavanya's delicate curves became more pronounced under the wet fabric, and Jackie, mesmerized, took a moment to simply admire her. A shy smile tugged at her lips. Jackie smirked back. Without another word, he intertwined his fingers with hers, his right hand locking with her left. Then, gently, he placed his other hand around her waist, pulling her closer, pressing her against him. They started swaying, slow, rhythmic, effortless. As the music played, the world around them faded into nothing. The stress, the fears, the unspoken words, all of it disappeared. Lavanya followed his lead with ease, laughing softly when he twirled her. He twirled her again, and again. She giggled, he grinned. They moved in perfect sync, their smiles widening with each passing moment. It was as if the rain had washed away every uncertainty, leaving behind nothing but the magic of the moment. The rain continued to pour, drenching them in what felt like a shower of love. The music was intoxicating, the air was crisp and cool, and their hearts were dangerously close to falling completely. Suddenly, a loud clap of thunder roared through the sky. Lavanya gasped, startled, and without thinking, she threw her arms around Jackie. Jackie stiffened in surprise. Then, his expression softened. With a slow smile, he wrapped his arms around her, pulling her even closer, holding her tightly against his chest. The music played on. He resumed dancing, but this time neither of them moved apart. Jackie could feel her warm breath against his neck, her delicate frame pressed against his, her wet clothes clinging to her soft skin. Lavanya, in turn, could feel the rapid thumping of his heart. The rain blurred everything around them, but in that moment, nothing else mattered. In that moment, Lavanya wasn't thinking about what people would say if they saw her, or what would happen next. She simply wanted to cherish this rare, beautiful moment, wrapped in the arms of the man she had fallen in love with for the first time in her life. And Jackie? He didn't want to dwell on how Lavanya might react later. He just wanted to hold her, to love her, to make the most of this fleeting embrace. With their eyes closed, they swayed gently to the rhythm, completely lost in each other. The world outside ceased to exist. The music had ended, the rain had softened to a light drizzle, yet neither of them moved. They remained in each other's arms, unwilling to let go. Unbeknownst to Lavanya, Jackie had kissed the top of her head several times, his lips brushing against her damp hair. She didn't notice. She was too lost in her own dreamlike daze. Then, after a few quiet minutes, The rain stopped completely. A sudden roar of an engine shattered their peaceful moment. A car rumbled into the community, its headlights flashing through the misty drizzle. Lavanya's eyes fluttered open. Reality came rushing back. Slowly, she unwrapped her arms from around Jackie and stepped back. Jackie frowned. He hadn't been ready to let go. Their eyes met again, holding on to something unspoken. There were questions hanging in the air, confessions left unsaid, decisions yet to be made, but neither of them broke the silence. They simply stood there, locked in each other's gaze, frozen between the past and the future. And then, Lavanya sneezed. Jackie's lips twitched. He suppressed a chuckle. She sneezed again, this time even cuter. That was it. He burst out laughing, pointing at her playfully. Embarrassed, she scowled at him. But karma struck fast. Jack suddenly sneezed, loud and abrupt. Lavanya gasped, then threw her head back, laughing at him. He kept sneezing, grumbling between them. What the? Achoo! Through her laughter, she smirked. Tit for tat. Their giggles filled the air, washing away the lingering tension. The night, which had started with unspoken words and hesitant emotions, ended in laughter, promising the hope of a new beginning. With warm smiles, they waved goodbye and retreated to their respective apartments, still feeling the remnants of their shared moment. Neither of them knew exactly what awaited them in the coming days. But one thing was certain: something beautiful was unfolding.